That's why I never say nothing, Joe.
That's right. You know everything, actually.
I know a lot, but I keep my mouth fucking shut.
Right.
Plausible deniability. That's what I want to get tattooed on my chest. Plausible deniability.
Right. So you get a lot of information that you have no idea what it means in that that side chat, you know?
Sure. All the time. Yep.
And you get information, and if you knew what it was in reference to, and then when it comes out, you know, you'd be like, oh, if only I cared about this, I would have known this like weeks ago.
Yeah. But I don't care, and my walls hold, so other than the side chat.
Do you want me to kick you out of that one so you don't get that information anymore?
No, I don't care. Because it doesn't go off as much as you know, as you'd think, so it doesn't bother me. But occasionally there's some good stuff in there I like to see. So
I feel as though the cloud that was raining a lot of that information has gone back to his home in Chicago.
Yeah.
At least for the next 2 months.
He's gone for good. I'll
give him the benefit of the doubt and say for the next 2 months. He's lying into a microphone and say that he's got nothing planned for the next 2 months. I'll pretend he's not lying.
Wow.
Because you know what? If he was lying, somebody should tell him when he's telling lies.
If he was lying, his lips would be moving.
That's
okay?
Right. All right.
That's all.
Got very thin lips, I'll just say that.
Thin lips, some bitch.
Oh, he certainly is. So how are you? How was your week? How was your football? I saw you won a fantasy football game, whatever the hell that means.
Yeah. I ended up winning against somebody with 2 legs. So we went head to head. I've never won one. I got beat by Brett the first week, though I have documented proof that he was willing to take a dive for money.
Oh, so, yeah?
Yeah, I got proof. I got the receipts, Joe, but I don't say nothing. No, we were chatting about YouTube TV. So he won, so I lost. I was like, whatever. So this week we were playing, and it came down to the Monday night game. I had no play. I really don't know how much you know about fantasy football, but I had no players left, and I was up by a bunch of points. But Ronald has had the quarterback and the running back for the Cleveland Browns, and
of course he did.
Right in the first quarter, they actually have one of those things where the running back, his name is Chubb, he's running, and he gets hit. And,
I saw people talking about this. Go ahead.
Yeah, and he goes down, and I'm like, oh, he's holding his leg, right? And he's in pain. And I'm like, okay, anything could happen. That doesn't mean it's a career-ending injury. It doesn't mean it's a game-ending injury. It doesn't mean it's, a season-ending. He could just be like, oh, I got to stretch this out. And then they played the replay in the stadium, but not for the people at home, and you just hear, ooh, right? And then you hear the announcers go, yeah, that was a bad injury. And we're not going to replay it for the people at home. And I was thinking to myself, should I rewind my DVR because I don't want to see this? But apparently he was running at full trot, and somebody hit his knee, maybe with their shoulder. I'm not sure with what. But his knee went backwards. So it kind of folded his leg a little bit the wrong way, I guess. And it's he's probably done for the year. So then that basically the quarterback had to do all the heavy lifting, and he was overwhelmed. He's somebody who has no personal problems at home too. So I was like, oh, okay, I got this one wrapped up. But next week I have the undefeated Vansky in my sight. So it should be interesting.
His big 2-0 record that he's so proud of.
Yep. And then the Raiders played the Steelers. on Sunday night. So that should be interesting.
That's this upcoming week. Yeah,
this upcoming week. So that's, I think, because they played last year, this is Talk to the Refrigerator Bowl 2. So we'll see. And I was thinking of trying to figure out a way to live stream, the game, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing that day. There's a chance of football with other people that day, so we'll see.
All right.
But so I did that. I ended up the Raiders lost, so I was sad about that. But it was against the Bills, and I expected it, even though I predicted 17-0. But still, we can go 16-1.
That's right.
That's still a chance. So
I feel as though that Steeler team is an easy win, but
I don't know. We'll see, because they have a decent. I know you care about all this stuff. They have a decent defense, but I think their offense is a train wreck. So we'll see. So it's and I call him, my quarterback is Jimmy by Todd Garoppolo. So we're gonna see if he can win. And as I always say, Jimmy G is Pat Mahomes equal, so he should win.
I could say this, and again, I'm glad you're mucking up this show with football talk,
right?
So it'll get it out of your system for the main show.
Okay.
Well, I have a feeling we're not going to be seeing that. We're going to be seeing No Chance in Helmet anytime this season. I've already written it off the schedule, just so you know.
I mean, I don't know. I think it comes down to Tim, because Marcus just really wants to. I could tell every time we talk.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on, because he's the like I always say, Marcus is the passion behind the helmet. So
yeah. I don't think Marcus listens to this show.
He doesn't, so I say all this stuff. Yeah. And if he does, it's all a good-natured ribbing. So
that's right. We're all having fun. This is the show for entertainment purposes only, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Anything slanderous that's said here, it's all in jest.
That's right. I think we officially christened this years ago the Dickin' Around Show.
That's right.
Yep, the official moniker of After Dark over here.
There's actually a very famous podcast that I'm not a fan, and again, I'm not a fan of them, but the name of the show is The Dick Show. The guy who, whatever, like being cute. But I like us being the Dickin' Around Show.
Yep.
But, it's After Dark. It'll be at Longbox Heroes After Dark forever, No,
I know. That was just like I said. That's the elevator pitch for the show.
But, so what a difference a week makes, Todd.
Is it just what is it, round robin of COVID now, I guess, at the house?
Oh, it just certainly feels that way. So we record last week. I'm like, no, I feel myself coming down with something. I'm not really sure, but I've been doing the preventative things. I took an airborne, took some Dayquil, gonna take some NyQuil. We're done recording. We're good to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Wednesday is my early day for work now, so that I can leave early and have time to run uptown, sit in traffic for 45 minutes and go get my comics.
Right.
So we get up, and I'm getting ready, and it's about 7:30, and we get a call from the doctor. Asa had gone Tuesday last week. He wasn't feeling good when he came home from school on Monday. We checked his temperature. It was high on Tuesday, so we kept him home, took him to the doctor, the whole thing. They ran the litany of tests, and I have, the printout of, they tested him for everything. They tested him for, 20 different things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we got we actually got the physical copy in the mail, yesterday. But again, because one of the things that he was tested for was COVID, and he tested positive for COVID, they called us 7:30 in the morning. They're like, yeah, you can't send him to school. He's got COVID. All right. So...
Yeah, but you didn't say the way I like you say it when somebody gets COVID.
Well, hang on. Wait, I'm going to get there, because I'm saving it for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, shit. So both me and April take tests. She comes up negative. Now, she was patient 0 because she was sick on Sunday, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, she took a test on Sunday, nothing, right? So she takes a test here now on Wednesday, nothing. I take a test, and Todd, to say I was pissing hot would be an understatement, okay? I've never seen that first of all, I've never seen that second line show up on the test. but like that second line was like the darkest I've seen a line ever in my life. I don't know if you've ever done it.
You've seen a lot of lines in your life.
I've seen a lot of lines. Usually they're like white. They have big like rock salt pieces in them. Me and Sam Kinison, you know,
right?
Bad Chinese food, the whole deal. So like, fuck, I tested positive, right? And then I got to contact Mantis and tell him I can't make the show on Saturday. I sent the message to Dave at the comic shop, and I'm like, I'm not coming to get my books. We're both sick and everything else like that. Now, granted, it's Wednesday. Ace is fine. He's running like a little bit of a temperature, but he's like, oh, I feel great, you know, whatever. He's got that a constitution of a young child. Exactly. So by the afternoon, I'm dead. Like I have 103 fever. I'm shaking. I can't stay warm. It's horrible, right? Yep. So that's Wednesday, Thursday. I do At Odds with Adam, and Adam's looking for any excuse. It's like, oh, well, we could postpone, or you could get somebody else, or, you know, whatever else. I'm like, nope, the show must go on, right? Adam Load Management Van Valkenburg. Kayfabe on the shoot name there. Right. So Friday, I'm starting to feel a little bit better. I'm still running a pretty high temperature, like 101 point whatever. But, like, I feel better, okay? But I'm like, I ain't doing anything. I ain't exerting myself. I ain't doing nothing, right? Right. So we pushed, you know, but I'm like, okay, so we pushed the Patreon from Friday to Saturday. We record on Saturday, get up on Sunday. I'm feeling good, right? It's a Pokemon day. Ace and I go out, do some Pokemon. It was raining, so we stayed in the car while we did a Pokemon. And while we're out, April's like, I want ice cream. Oh, now bear in mind, in between all this, Friday night into Saturday morning, April now tests positive, right? Right, yep. So we're just brewing it all up. We're all just passing around to each other, you know? Asa took a test. He's fine. Negative. This was Sunday night. But he's back to school, but he has to wear a mask all this week at school, which is fine. He don't give a shit, you know? So Sunday we go out, we do Pokemon. April says, I want ice cream, so we stop and get her ice cream. I decide to get myself some ice cream. Bad idea, okay? So I take a test that night, and I'm still positive. I'm like, motherfucker, right? Still coming up positive. I'm not running a fever or nothing. But, like, the combination of still having it lingering and having a nice, big, frothy chocolate milkshake, I'm done, right? It's the rest of the night, Sunday, all day Monday, I'm just like, I feel terrible. It's just grinding my guts, right? So I'm like, all right, let's make it through Monday. Let's not overexert ourselves. Let's not do too much. Now, April is feeling fine. She's just got, like, a raspy voice. She went to work today, and her boss sent her home. She's like, get the hell out of here. You sound terrible. Go home, right? Right. She sounds fine now. She's going to take a test tomorrow morning before she goes into work and everything else like that. And literally minutes before we started recording, I took another test, and I came up negative. So I'm feeling good. Stomach's hurting a little bit. That's no big deal. I think that's from the place that we got the milkshake from, still having some lingering effects on me. Right. And to taunt me even further, it's middle of September. It's not hot outside, but it's chilly. And who decides to stroll down my street about 4 o'clock in the afternoon today but Mr. Softy? Oh! So the two of them go running out for ice cream. I'm still working, right? The luxuries of working from home. There had been days where I'd be working from home and Mr. Softy would come and I'd be like, 1 moment, please. And that person would just have to sit and wait while I got in line to get my Mr. Softy, right? Yep. Fuck science. It's time for Mr. Softy. That's right. So I'm feeling good. I'm happy I'm getting a chance to go up and get my comics tomorrow. I'm happy to get out of the house after being cooped up, except for that Sunday where I went out to do the Pokemon. But, yeah, man, like, it was a 3.5-year streak. I never got it. Or, like, there was times where I thought I had it, and I took a test and it came up negative, but I probably had it, because, like, I had all the symptoms and stuff. But if the test says negative, like, I can hang my hat on that. But, like, when I took that test on Wednesday morning, and it was like bright. It wasn't red, it was black, the line, you know?
Yep. I was going to say, if you weren't going for your books, I was going to offer to go pick them up and bring them up to the Petri dish that is your house. but I guess if you're going out, and, you know.
No, because it's been nice. You know, we've had the windows open and everything, and with April being off the last 2 days, and, you know, us being home, like, obviously, we're all sick, but we've been using this time to, like, scrub the house, like, vacuum and everything, Lysol and everything, changing the sheets and everything.
What do you have, female friends coming over, or what?
No.
Remember when...
We've all just been sick, and, like, we don't want to lay in our own sick, you know?
No, I'm joking. When April was like, oh, it's just guys coming over. Why did we clean so much? Remember?
That was a couple months ago, because it was the father, the son, and not the wife. So it's like, you don't need to clean for them, you know? Right. But being cooped up at home, I got a ton of reading done. I got caught up on the backlog of stuff. I watched like 3 movies, not including Captain America, which you can go listen to us have a blast with on the Patreon, you know?
I don't say this often, Joe. I think possibly one of our finest hours.
Yes.
Really enjoyed doing that one, and I can almost say I'm proud of that one. Anyway.
Yeah. Definitely a good one. Like I said, I think we found the mix, and I don't want to I don't want to call our shot or whatever it is.
Right.
But I think we're gonna have a lot of fun with Howard the Duck next month as well.
Yeah.
You having never seen it, and me.
No, we discussed. I saw it once.
Oh, that's right.
Don't remember it. So I remember like 3 scenes out of it. I just remember Leah Thompson getting some duck on.
But that, yeah. So where was I going with this? We watched a couple movies, read a bunch of stuff, but it'll be nice to get out, you know?
Yep. I will say I do remember you said you didn't have COVID, but I remember, was it April or Asa who had it last time?
Asa. Okay, this was both me and April's first time getting it, officially getting it.
Because I'll never forget. And you know, I'm a big fan of your wife, you know?
Yes.
So I was like, you know what? Joe can't get out of the house. Asa has COVID. Do you remember this? I'm going to drop, without telling you, I picked up your books because you couldn't come get them. I'm like, I'll go down to Wilkes-Barre. I'll get something I'm looking forward to down that way that I don't get to eat often. I'll get like the pizza with the onions, and I'll drop Joe's books off. And I'll never forget it. I'm like, okay, it's going to be a surprise. I'll walk up. I'll put it between the screen door and the door and then text you that they're there.
Yep.
And it's good to go. You don't owe me anything. I feel bad you can't get out. And I get up to the door and I go to open the screen door, and April opens the door and looks me in the face and goes, "You can't come in. We have COVID." I'm like, I know. Shut the door. There's just a screen between me and you now. I was going to leave these here for Joe. She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to leave them on the porch now that you know that they're here. Yeah. And I left. I was just like, if you just left the door shut, we would have been fine. You know what I mean?
She does that a lot of time because when we see someone pull up that we recognize,
right,
invariably, they go to the wrong door. Mm-hmm. Granted, in this instance, with Asa having COVID and us not wanting anyone in, no door was the right door.
Right.
But it'll be we'll have the front door ready to go and open and unlocked and whatever, and they'll go around to the side door. Or we'll have the side door open and ready to go because the last time they came, they went to the side door, and now this time they're going to the front door. So it was more than likely one of those things where
it's get them.
Trying to cut you off at the pass.
Yeah, I always go to the front door because the only time I've ever used your side door was when we were going to when we're traveling and you're driving. It's all right, I'm parked in the driveway. Let's go out the side door. And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
But so interesting week.
Yep. Let's hope this is the end of it, you know?
Yep. Me too.
And you're done. No hard manual labor at the Cinnabon anymore. That's all done with.
It was until I had to do a bunch this weekend on my own just to get it done, and I did. And then 2 days later, the guy was like, "Oh, I can come help you now," and I'm like, "Nah, I'm good. It's done. I worked it out." But I do think I've I think I'm going to be in shape for the first time in my life after doing stuff, so we'll see.
Cool.
I'll have a muscle.
You actually have very, very well-defined leg muscles.
I always say I don't have calves, I have steers.
Mm.
I always get complimented them at cons by Mike McCone. He was like, "Dear God, your calves are ridiculous." And at one point, I came to him for a sketch in my sketchbook, and he goes, "Like, do you want me to draw your calves?" And I was like, I thought about it, but I thought it would be creepy in my sketchbook. But it's a running joke between me and him. So
he should immortalize your calves in a book on like whatever the next book that he does.
Right. He told me though that he's regulated himself to mostly just covers.
Oh, that's a good.
Right. He's a cover artist, but he has a creator-owned project he kind of wants to do. I saw this on social media, not from him in person, but he's thinking of doing a creator-owned project. So maybe I can get in that. But he doesn't like the grind of a monthly book. That's not his bag. He's like, I'll just do covers. And for a while there, he was doing those like 36 connecting Star Wars covers for like 2 years. He was doing at one point.
Yes.
And I guess there's money in that if you can, and go from con to con. That's the life I want, baby.
It's one thing to draw the Darth Vader that's inside the book. It's another one to draw the one that's on the cover.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think that gets a little bit more cachet in some circles,
Yeah, and then you could it gets reprinted in art books, blah blah blah, like multiple times. So
exactly.
So,
and then you have New York coming up in a couple weeks anyway, right? So you got to stay.
Yes.
You got to stay clean. You got to stay healthy.
Yes, I do. I have to help the definitive Colonel Sanders artist at his table. And so far, as we record this, we're 3 weeks and like a day to New York. Yep. Zero plan or zero things I want. I'm just going to have fun. So I'll be on the lookout for Toxic Avenger. What are they called? Oh my God!
Help you.
You're not going to help me. They're oh my God! They're the little dolls with the big heads.
That's right.
They're Funkos.
There you go. I listen. You're not when somebody is struggling for something like that. You're not supposed to help them.
You're not supposed to throw them a lifeline. Throw them a weight.
No, you're supposed to wait.
Right.
You're supposed to let them get there themselves. You're not supposed to,
Yeah, no, I get you. But we'll see. I have a feeling people will start lining up to ask me for things. So we'll see.
And that's the thing. I'm not asking you to do it. I was told that it's a Target shared exclusive.
No, I know. That's why I said it because and we've been over this. The Funko Booth's impossible to get near. Impossible.
Yeah. But people still going down that dead end street of Funkos, huh?
I remember when you had a good buddy who was a Beanie Baby guy before he got turned.
We'll close out the show and say he reached puberty, and that'll be it, huh?
I heard with who, too. So.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, everyone. Hey, thanks, everyone, for listening. This was Longbox Heroes After Dark 462 or something, right?
Maybe.
All right, I mentioned the Patreon before.
That's all it matters.
Yeah, patreon.com/longboxheroes. Maybe you're listening to this early. You're listening to this in the correct listening order. I'll remember to actually put this up on time. I should have known something was up last week, and we'll close out with this. When I posted the main show to the After Dark feed, and then I forgot to post this show early to the Patreon. I didn't post this until after the main show went up on the wrong feed.
Right.
I should have known that maybe I'm not firing on all cylinders.
And I would say I would complain, but I know what your answer would be, and I'm not doing any of this shit. So I'm not complaining.
Well, that's the thing. I wouldn't say that you're complaining. I would say that you're pointing things out. There's a way that you could present that information to me in a way that's not complaining, and there's a way that you could present that information to me that you're like, hey, dumbass.
Yeah. There's complaining, but I'll be condescending. That's what I'll do.
Go. Right. All right. Hey, everyone. Thanks for listening. This will be out on time. I'm not going to promise because I'll not fuck something up this week. All right. See y'all next week. But this week is done.
You're listening to the soon-to-be-named network, the Lamborghini of podcast networks.